Well, hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News, your twice-weekly dose of the finest 2A propaganda. First up today is yet another example of failed gun control. Even when you wand everyone with metal detectors, you still can't keep guns out of a ballpark. Two women were shot at a White Sox game in Chicago, and it sounds like one of them might have smuggled the gun in her belly fat.
Good God, man!
This is another one of those stories where there really isn't any conclusive proof, so no one is willing to go on record, and it's reported by ESPN as sources close to the investigation, so, take that caveat along with everything I'm about to tell you. But from what I gather, a massive chunk of a woman set off metal detectors 3 times and security was still unable to find the gun. Later, she was wounded with a grazing shot to the abdomen and another woman was hit in the leg. WGN, though, reports their own sources say the woman never set off any metal detectors. And of course, the woman's attorney says she didn't bring a gun into the ballpark and didn't fire it. Regardless of what actually happened, the one thing which is crystal clear here is gun control doesn't work. What do you guys think happened? My question is, if the pistol was in her gut fat, how did it even end up firing?
Alakablam!
But it would be impossible for us to produce quality 2A propaganda without sponsors. So before I tell you about how the ATF stole documents from Iraq veteran without a warrant, let's pay some bills. Today's video is sponsored by Springfield Armory's new Echelon with universal optic mounting plate and modular central operating group. You can get all the gory details on our new review channel when you're done here.
New for 2023 is the Springfield Echelon. This striker-fired polymer frame pistol features Springfield's new variable interface system for mounting multiple optic footprints and the serialized cog fire control for inserting into multiple frames. Find out more at springfield-armory.com.
And by TNVC.com, your source for good old-fashioned all-American night vision just like Mom used to make. And by Gunstock, a 2-day festival of peace and guns in Waxahachie, Texas. Come hang out with me September 23rd and 24th and make some pews, eat some food, and enjoy some music. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee's special legislative session, which he called to pass a control freak wish list of authoritarian nonsense, is over now. And he didn't get any gun control passed at all.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
If you'd like to call so you can rub his nose in it and warn him never to try that again, you can reach him at 615-741-2001. Colorado's attempt to violate the rights of adults under 21 hit another roadblock when the 10th Circuit ruled the state cannot enforce its shiny new infringement while the case is still being argued in the courts. So for the time being, adults under 21 will still be able to buy firearms in Colorado. Rocky Mountain gun owners filed for a preliminary injunction back on August 7th, which was appealed by the pasty-faced Governor Jared Polis. But the state's case was so weak, 2 Obama appointee justices ruled they're not likely to win on the merits of the case, and they denied the appeal. Polis could appeal to the Supreme Court, but he would be unlikely to win even if they were willing to hear the case. And the injunction is only temporary. The case does still need to be heard on its own merits. Like I said, it's not looking good for the control freaks. Still, Rocky Mountain gun owners has to feed and water its lawyers to bring this thing in for the win. You can help with that by visiting rmgo.org and clicking on the donate tab at the top of the page. Come on, you were just going to spend that money on an IDF girl waifu pillow anyway. We've been winning in court a lot over the last few years, but even when the AFT wins, they get an earful from the judge. As part of their recent F all you little people initiative, they have been revoking FFLs at every opportunity. In March of last year, they revoked Reggie Wilson's FFL for transferring 2 handguns to his stepdaughter on a 4473 while they were both located in another state from where his business is located. That does indeed violate the 1968 Gun Control Act, but it didn't have to result in license revocation. Wilson appealed the decision, and now the Honorable Max Cogburn ruled F-Troop wasn't wrong to revoke his license. But he minced no words in scolding the ATF for choosing a far more heavy-handed approach than he believed was warranted. Nothing in the record indicates that Mr. Wilson's conduct of selling 2 guns on one occasion to his own stepdaughter affected public safety or hampered the ATF's ability to reduce violent crime. Of course, The ATF has been delegated the authority to revoke the license of a licensee who has willfully violated any provision of the GCA, even if the revocation seems a heavy-handed punishment in response to the violation at issue. Still, this sort of heavy-handed exercise of revocations, as opposed to warnings or suspensions, foments antipathy for government agencies. Yeah, it sure does. It creates intentionally, I think, an adversarial relationship between gun shops and the ATF. But it wouldn't be nearly as infuriating if they held themselves to the same no-tolerance standard. An ATF industry operations inspector just stole documents from one of Eric Blandford's gun shops, Kiloton Tactical, without a warrant or subpoena or even so much as a half-assed excuse. As you know, Eric runs the IV8888 YouTube channel and hosts a kick-ass shoot every year. He's a real pipe hitter for 2A rights, an absolute Chad, and a consummate gentleman. It is, of course, illegal and a violation of ATF policy for IOIs to remove documents from the premises of the FFL. He said he planned to take copies and return them later, but even that's a problem because although IOIs are allowed to take copies of documents on site after they find infractions, they're not supposed to be simply copying everything they feel like copying. Remember about this time last year, Agent Ron Weasley here got caught photographing every single page in Black Metal Firearms Bound book? Well, she faced zero consequences for that, so why would any other agents care about the rule? And the ATF has every reason to encourage this sort of behavior because they've been trying super hard to hoover up all the 4473s into their, trust us, it's totally not searchable, illegal database. Why did they target Eric Blandford though? Probably didn't have anything to do with his pending lawsuit against them. And now for your moment of zen. Hey friends, do you like pews and other pew-related things? Do you want to help us keep delivering you pure, uncut American pew-paganda at the low price of $3.50? We literally couldn't pay the bills without our sponsors, so do us a solid and get yourself something nice from them. You deserve it. I love you.